Hello, and I'm just going to go through the 2020 Leaving Cert Higher Level Computer Science Section C Python exam. So question 16A then from the exam, it says a password strength meter is a mechanism that can be used to safeguard against setting weak passwords. When a user is creating a password for the first time or changing an existing password, a password strength meter can be used to show how resistant the password is to attack. Meters have rules they use to assign points for password strengthening measures, such as including combination of uppercase and lowercase letters, as well as numbers and special symbols. Now, it's really important that you read that paragraph introducing your program before you start coding in your computer. Section A then, it says open the program called question 16A from your device. The source code shown on the next page and describe briefly below. Before making any changes, you should note your examination number. So the very first thing you must do is pop in your exam number up here. And save your file. So for example, your candidate was 123456. You would save the file 123456 question 16a.py. So let's do that just as starting off. So I don't have an exam number, so I'm just going to make up one. 54321 is my exam number, and I just go file, save as. Now in the exam you will all have a USB that you're going to be saving it onto, and it's going to be 54321 question 16a.py. So it would be like this, question 16a, and it's underscore a. That's exactly as it's told to you in the question, and that's exactly how you must answer your question sheet. Then just hit save, and it says enter your exam number in space provided on line 2. We have that done. And this program is designed to calculate and display the score that indicates the strength of a password entered by the user. The variable score, you see it there. The variable score is used to store the strength of the password. This variable is initially set to 0, and additional points are added based on the following rules. The password contains more than 7 characters, it gets 5 points. The password contains at least one lowercase, it gets 1 point. So add on 5 points if there's more than 7 characters, add on 1 point if it has at least one lowercase. The password must contain a mix of lower and uppercase plus 5 points. A sample run of the program runs below. So if I run the sample as shown, in the question it says if I enter sunshine, lowercase, my result should be 6. So I'm getting the expected output as per the Leaving Cert paper. So here the user enters sunshine, program calculates to display 6. This is because the password contains more than 7 characters, 5 points, and contains lowercase 1 point. So more than 7, 5 points, lowercase gives it an extra 1 point, meaning it's 6 points in total. Question part 1. Insert a comment to say initialize score in an appropriate location in the program. So score variable is set up here. So I'm going to put in, and I always just like to do this nice for the examiner, answer to part 1, okay, hashtag, and the answer is, just to put in the comment, initialize score. Now, of course, you could put in the other way around if you wanted. It's up to you. You could put in hashtag initialize score and then put in your answer to part 1 like that if you prefer. Either way, whether you put the answer 1 first or the initialize score first, either is perfect. You're just giving it, by putting in this, is making it a lot easier to correct. That's part 1. Part 2, it says amend the program so that the displayed 2 lines of output as shown. The first line will display the word password followed by the password that was entered by the user, and the second line will display the score followed by the score calculated by the user. And it gives you a sample run of the program in the paper. So what we wanted to do is print out password and then print out so enter password sunshine, that's going to be the same. Then we want to say password colon, whatever the password entered by the user is. And then we want to say whatever the score followed by whatever the score is, as is explained in the question. So we want to print out this password that's input up here. So what I can do is print. Now my variable for password is just password. Print. And my variable password. So print password, print score, comma score. So this is printing the input value. This is printing the score that's calculated, whatever stores in those variables. This is a string and this is a string, and the little comma is going to join them together first. If I run it now, enter a password, it's coming up, so I'm going to put in sunshine. It says password entered sunshine, score 6. So I should have just popped the little semicolon on there, and I'll run it again. And now the output is exactly like it is in the exam paper. So the only thing left to do then is just put in my hashtag answer to part 2. And I should have put answer A1 here as well, just to make them perfect. So just to make it really easy for the examiner, you're telling them the answer to part 2. Answer to part 2 is there and there. And that is question 2 done. Now looking at question 3. It says currently the program, the uppercase letters are hard-coded as a string. So here you go. They are hard-coded as a string. Replace the use of the string with a variable in a manner similar that is used to represent the lowercase letters. The output of the program should not change. You should name the variable upper underscore case underscore letters. So here we have if character in lowercase, and if I look at how lowercase is defined, lowercase is set to false, uppercase is set to false. Lowercase is set up here to a variable, and they're all stored here. And the uppercase is defined down here. Now we want to make it similar to how this is done up here. So what we're going to do is just use the same method as is already there. This time it's going to be called upper underscore case underscore letters equals, and I'm just going to move actually all of this up. And then down here, if character in, I'm going to just use the name of my variable now. And if I run that, I'm just going to pop it in here. Answer to A3, and the same here. If I run that and I pop in, enter a password, if I put in a capital S this time for sunshine, my score is 11. And it actually tells me that the replacing the use of the string with a variable in a manner similar to that used representing lowercase letters, the output of the program should not be changed, which is perfect, it hasn't changed. and you should name the variable as uppercase letter. So we have that done now. They're coherent, they're the same. And move on to question 4, part 4. Implement a new rule, rule 4. So if I look at my rules, you've got rule 1, rule 2, rule 3. So I'm going to go and look what we want to do. It says implement a new rule, rule 4, so that the score is increased by 2 points if a password contains at least one uppercase letter. So if we go hashtag rule 4, and again I can put in hashtag, I can put in my answer to a IV, part IV, just keeping my comments all popping in the answers to the numbers in with it. And rule 4, we want it to increase by 2 points if the password contains at least one uppercase letter. So it's very similar to this, really. If lowercase score equals score plus 1, well, ours is going to be if uppercase, then it's going to be score equals to score plus, and in this question it's actually plus 2. And if I run that, previously Sunshine was 11, so if I go with that again, enter password capital S Sunshine, it now has changed to 13. So it's given me 2 extra points for having a capital letter, which is what I wanted. So that's rule number 4 complete. Question number 5, then, or part 5 of question A. It says implement a new rule, rule 5. So I'm just going to move down here. It's going to be rule 5. And it's going to ask so that the score will increase by 5 points if the password contains 1 digit, any integer in the range 0 to 9 plus 5 points. When the program runs, it may look as follows, and it gives you a sample output. So if we wanted to contain any digits, and if I look at what we have already, we could set up a variable digits, the same as we have variables up here for uppercase and lowercase. So if I say in here digits, again you can, if I call it just digits as a variable name, equals, and I'm going to set it up the same as these ones. So I'm just going to copy the exact same method. So I have my uppercase digits here set up as a string. Then in here, the variables upper and lowercase indicate the presence of or the absence of a lowercase letter. So I'm going to go to the same here for digits. I'm going to put that in lowercase here, just for my loop. And in here, I'm going to pop it in. If character in digits then digits equals true. And then down here, my rule, if digits, so if digits equals true, then score equals score plus, and looking at my question, plus 5 points. Hi, I'm just going to continue part 2 of the video on the 2020 question, section C, question A, 16A. So I'm now moved on to part 6, and it says implement a new rule, rule 6, so that the score is increased by 1 point if the first character of the word is a digit, by 1 point if the last character of the word is a digit, and 2 extra points if both the first and last character of the passwords are digits. So I'm now on to rule 6, and this is answer to A, part 6. Just popping that into the comments. Now what I want to do is implement a new rule, rule 6, with the advice given there. So this is going to be a little if. So you're going to give 1 extra mark if the first character in the word is a digit. So let's work on that one first. So let's go if password, and remember your positions, you use the square brackets. So if password at position, and the first position is position 0, as you know. So if password in position 0 is in our list of digits, digits, and remember we have digits set up here as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if password at position 0 is in digits, what do we want to do? We want our score equals score plus 1. The next set here is if password, the last character, if password at position, and it's -1 for last position, is in digits. And what do we want to do if that's the case? We want score equal score plus 1 point. And the last scenario here is 2 extra points if both the first and last characters of the password are digits. So if password at position 0 in digits and password at position -1 in digits, then score equals score plus 2. And if I run that, enter password. So I'm going to copy what's in the exam paper. It says 3 sunshine with a capital S, 3 sunshine 7. That should, when I press enter, give me the score of 22. So I have a little mistake here, so let's figure it out. So line 58, which is here, oh look at that, SCORE. So I just fix my variable and press run again. So I'm going to go to same thing again. So 3 sunshine 7, and I get the result of 22, and I know that's correct because it's given to me in the exam paper as the correct answer. Now I'm going to move on to part 7. So part 7 says implement a new rule, rule 7. So there's rule 6. So let's go rule 7, and this is the answer A, part 7. And new rule, rule 7, that the score is reduced by 10 points if the password only contains digits. When the program is run, the output may look as follows. Okay, so if the program only contains digits, so basically we have no upper or no lowercase. There's a couple of ways of writing this. It's entirely up to yourself. I'm just going to go if, say for example, digits. So if digits is true and uppercase and not, so we want to say they're false, and not uppercase, and not lowercase. Like I said, there's several ways you can do this. So if digits is true and not uppercase and not lowercase, so I'm looking at this here, like, so that's set to true, and that'll only be set to true if the character and digits character is set in there as reading in from password. So if digits is true and uppercase and lowercase is false, then what do I want to happen? Well, I want my score to be reduced by 10 points. So score equals score minus 10. So let's run this. So enter password. Password given in the example is 1, 2, 3, 4. And the result is -1, and the result is -1 in the actual exam paper as well. So you're given a little solution in the exam paper, and you know then your code is working if you are following the same inputs as given in the exam question. Now part 8, it says change rule 1. So let's go up and look at rule 1. Change rule 1. So that the score is adjusted according to the password length as shown in the following table. If greater than 7 characters, add on 5 points. Between 4 and 7 characters, add on 2 points. If less than 4 characters, add on 2, take away 2 points. And it gives us an output then to check from. So this is our last part to part A. So let's amend rule 1. I suppose a good thing for you to look at this stage is your Python guide. And if you look at your Python guide, you know, like looking at rule 1, if the length is greater than 7, score equals score plus 5. So you're getting 5 extra marks because it's longer than 7. But if we adjust that now, if it's greater than 7, it's going to get 5 points. That's fine. All right. Elif, the score, the len of password is going to be greater than equal to 4, and the length of password is going to be less than or equal to 7. Then the score equals score plus 2. Else, you can either hard code in the else, or you can, you know, it's basically anything else. So you don't need to put in the length is between, you know, is less than 4 characters, because if it's greater than 4, greater than or equal to 4, it's going to go into this loop. And if it's greater than 7, it's going to go into this loop. So if it's not greater than 7 and it's not greater than or equal to 4, then obviously it has to be less than. So we can just say else without having to put in our code in there, any more code, and just pop in our scenario. Score equals score minus 2, and let's run this and see how it works. And enter a password, and there's a list of passwords given on page 6 of the exam question. So I'm just going to pop in lowercase sun, and the output according to my exam paper should be -1, and it is. And then the next scenario is uppercase sun, uppercase s, and then lowercase un, and it should be 6, and it is. And if I run it again with sun2, I'm just checking the scenarios as per exam paper, lowercase sun2, and it should be 9, and it is. And I run again, it's 2 sun3, and I should get 12, and I do. And if I run again, 3 capital sun shine, and I should get 19 as my password strength. And if I run again with 3 sunshine 7, 3 with capital S for sunshine, and then 7, I should get here 22 according to my exam paper, and I do. So basically that's all of question A answered. Question B is not going to be part of the section B is not part of the 2022 exam paper, but I am going to go ahead and have a look at it for you because it's good to practice your Python skills because you don't know how difficult part A is going to be. So I'm going to go through the solution to part B just as a practice. But part B has been removed from the 2022 exam paper. However, it just means that they're removing the kind of open-ended part of the question. You could still get some parts that this technique solution could be useful for. So we're going to run through the answer to it in the next video.